वाइको नहीं है इसे. So all the leaders on the dais, because there is short of time and many leaders want to go their respective destination, therefore they are requesting this should be summed up as early as possible because their flights are right time. So they will pardon me who are sitting here, whose names I have not mentioned, but still the all 26 party leaders were present in the meeting, including Sonia Gandhi ji, our respected leader, and all senior 26 party leaders, Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad, all were there because their flight is in time, they have gone. So friends, this is a very important meeting for the purpose to save the democracy and constitution, and in the interest of people of this country, we have come together, discussed various points, and with one voice, people supported the resolution that will be circulated to you after the meeting, and the details are there. Our alliance will be called, the all people have agreed to have one name for the alliance. Earlier we worked with UPA. Now with all 26 parties, a new name is given, that is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, that is INDIL, and this is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. So everybody agreed for this, and unanimously this name is given, and everybody is happy with this name. So I thank you very much them, because I am the host state, and it is a great achievement for us that all 26 parties together, they solved many problems of the country. This is second. And third is 11-member coordination committee will be set up. That we will decide shortly, and we are going to meet again in Maharashtra, Mumbai. There we will discuss the names of the coordinators, and 11-member name will be announced there. And the date will also be announced shortly for Mumbai, this meeting. Fourthly, this one secretariat will be set up for campaign management, and other committees on a specific issue will be set up mostly in Delhi, because Delhi is a capital place and it will be convenient for everybody. Fifth is a joint statement after today's meeting was approved, and this is being circulated, just I told earlier, and our friends will circulate to you. 6th is a next meeting will be held in Bombay, I told, and really I am thankful to all the leaders, those who have come from various parties, here 26 parties. They gave very good suggestions, and particularly today's situation that the BJP government wants to destroy the democracy in this country, and also they want to destroy the constitution. They are using the autonomous bodies like CBI and ED, vigilance, all such institutions they are using against opposition party leaders and their workers. Therefore, there is a grave situation. To save this situation, we have come together, and country is important for us. Though we have got some differences in each state politically, but that is, we have kept that behind, not front. The front is only to how to save the country and people of this country. That is the issue before us, and that our leaders have shown. We should be together in the interest of the country, and they gave many suggestions, and we have accepted, and we will continue to follow it. Another thing is, earlier, first we met in Patna. There nearly 16 parties were there. Now 26 parties have joined, because some people did not come there, and many of the people came to Bengaluru, and today 26 people, the parties have joined. After seeing everything, now Modi ji is calling NDA meeting with 30 parties. I don't know where 30 parties are there, whether they are registered parties in Election Commission, or whether I have not heard, because I am also in the Parliament, in the Raj Sabha, here also, I have not heard so many parties in India, and that too 30 parties with NDA. They are also holding meeting. And earlier they never cared even their own alliance. They never used to talk even them. Many people left, but now one by one he is calling, and they are meeting, and their party president is also going each state, and in one party several divisions were there. बहुत से टुकड़े टुकड़े हो गए थे. वो पूरे टुकड़ों को जोड़ने का काम मोदी जी अब कर रहे हैं. He is doing it now. So it means that he is now afraid of opposition parties. Otherwise, there was no necessity for him. He never bothered. This is one thing. And secondly, our people gathered here, they're not to become something. They want to save democracy and constitution, and to fight against the unemployment, inflation. So many issues are there. So all those issues, in the interest of country, we will take and we will fight. Now, our aim will be to take important issues one by one, and we will highlight, we will move throughout the states, entire country, with all these issues, and also highlighting the failure of the government. Therefore, I don't want to say much. This is our aim, and when some proposal came for our keeping the name and other things. I'm happy everybody, Rahul ji, Mamata Banerjee, and everybody, those who are sitting here, they all agreed. This is the first achievement of our alliance agreeing for the name. And friends, I don't want to take much of your times. Today we are facing many issues, including media also, because all media are captured by Modi, and without their isara or signal, nobody moves. I have seen, because many meetings I have conducted, I have seen, and even earlier in my 52 years of political active life, I have not seen such hostile information against us or against the opposition parties and suppressing the opposition leaders. So anyway, we have to fight, we will fight and we will move together, and I hope we will succeed in this, and all youngsters, farmers, MSME people, everybody is fed up, and even freedom of speech and everything, you know it. That's why many people don't write. Even if they write something, they will say, "Ye unke vichar hai." Every paper will say, "They are his opinion." And even newspaper also, they don't want to own it, the statement or written, whatever the articles they write. So this is the situation. So we have to come out from this, and 2024 election, we will fight unitedly and we will come out with great success. Therefore, once again I thank all leaders, those who are sitting here, and I also thank you for waiting nearly 2 hours for hearing some good news from our Indian National Development Inclusive Alliance. Once again, I will repeat, Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. This is the name we have given. There is a lot of meaning in this, and I hope everybody will see this name and properly, because sometimes it happens, जरा लिखते वक्त इधर उधर लिख जाते हैं और शुरू से ही कमेंट I thank you very much, all of you, and also I thank you, your persons, leaders who are sitting on the dais. Thank you, one and all.
शुक्रिया खड़गे जी। मैं अभी पश्चिम बंगाल के मुख्यमंत्री ममता बनर्जी जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि आपको संबोधित करें।
Thank you so much. Just now, Kharge ji ने आप लोगों को बताया. He has already mentioned everything, whatever we discussed in the meeting. Here also all the chief ministers, including Udhav, ex-chief minister, even I don't say ex-chief minister. Tomorrow they will be again coming. Arvind ji, Sitaram ji, Raja, Hemant, Maan, Staramaya ji, Ramesh ji, DK, our favorite Rahul Gandhi, Sharad Pawar ji, and all my youngsters who are sitting behind the dais, they are the future. So I thanks to everybody, and thanks the Indian press, international, national, state and regional and local. Today the meeting was very good. It was constructive, fruitful, And I think from today, it's a real challenge. We already started. हमारा जो अलायंस मीन्स जो 26 पार्टी का मीटिंग हुआ, इसमें क्लियर हुआ, पहले आप यूपीए के नाम सुना, एनडीए तो अभी भी है लेकिन एग्जिस्टेंस नहीं है। इसी के लिए आने वाला दिन देश में जो जिंदगी खतरा में है, चाहे दलित हो, चाहे माइनॉरिटी हो, चाहे हिंदू हो, चाहे मुस्लिम हो, चाहे सिख हो, चाहे ईसाई हो, चाहे मणिपुर हो, चाहे अरुणाचल हो, चाहे उत्तर प्रदेश हो, चाहे दिल्ली हो, चाहे बंगाल हो, चाहे बिहार हो, चाहे महाराष्ट्र हो, सरकार बेचना, सरकार खरीद करना एक ही काम है गवर्नमेंट का। इसी के लिए हम लोगों ने आज सब मिलके एक रियल चैलेंज लिया है। डिटेल्स खड़गे जी ने आपको फुल फ्लेजेड नाम बताया, लेकिन इसका शॉर्ट फॉर्म में होता है इंडिया। लेट अस चैलेंज इंडिया। एनडीए, कैन यू चैलेंज इंडिया? भाजपा, कैन यू चैलेंज इंडिया? The other people, can you challenge India? We love our motherland. We are the patriotic people of this country. We are for youth, we are for students, we are for farmers, we are for Kishans, we are for Dalits, we are for good economy, we are for the country, we are for the world. So our challenge will be all focus, all publicity, all campaigning, all program. It will be under the banner of India. If anybody has a challenge, catch us if you can. Save India from disaster. Save India from atrocious terrible. Save atrocious terrible from Manipur. Save the people of India. Save India, इसको हम भारत बोलते हैं हिंदी में और इंग्लिश में इंडिया है। इंडिया को बचाना है, देश को बचाना है। भाजपा तो देश बेचने का सौदागिरी कर रहा है, देश बेचने का सौदागिरी कर रहा है, लोकतंत्र को खरीदने का सौदागिरी कर रहा है। इसी के लिए आज कोई इंडिपेंडेंट एजेंसी को भी काम नहीं करने देता है। कोई आदमी कोई अपोजिशन को सपोर्ट करते हैं, अपोजिशन स्टेट को, तो नेक्स्ट डे ईडी और सीबीआई और कोई चला जाता है और खाली धमक देता है हम 355 करेगा, हम 356 करेगा। हम लोगों ने आज 420 कर दिया, 420 धारा अप्लाई कर दिया पॉलिटिकली, जिसमें इंडिया जीतेगा, भाजपा हारेगा। भारत जीतेगा, भाजपा हारेगा। इंडिया जीतेगा और हमारा देश जीतेगा। यही मेरे को कहने हैं। Thank you so much. I am grateful to all of the political party. They have accepted the slogans of India, this name, alliance. The main foundation we started from today. Next Maharashtra, the meeting will be there. There the core committee and other, the manifesto, the common minimum program or whatever you say, the joint committee, so everything will be decided there also. So the meeting date, Kharge ji will inform you later on. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thanks to Karnataka Congress Party also and government also to organize this meeting. Thank you so much.
शुक्रिया ममता जी। मैं अभी दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो आपको संबोधित करें।
मंच पे मौजूद सभी मुख्यमंत्रीगण और देश की 26 पार्टियों के सभी सीनियर नेतागण, आज हम सब लोग 26 पार्टियां बेंगलोर में यहाँ पे एकत्रित हुए। ये दूसरी मीटिंग थी। पटना में 16 पार्टियां इकट्ठी हुई थी, तो ये अच्छी बात है कि कुनबा बढ़ रहा है। आज से 9 साल पहले इस देश के लोगों ने नरेंद्र मोदी जी को भारी बहुमत देके जिताया था। इन 9 साल के अंदर उनके पास मौका था, वो देश के लिए बहुत कुछ कर सकते थे, लेकिन इन 9 सालों में उन्होंने एक भी सेक्टर ऐसा नहीं है जिसमें हम कह सकें कि तरक्की हुई है। हर सेक्टर को बर्बाद करने में उन्होंने कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ी। सबसे बेस्ट तो है आप सेकंड क्लास की रेलवे की टिकट लेके किसी भी ट्रेन में चढ़ जाइए, आपको पता चल जाएगा कि आज से 4-5 साल पहले रेलवे ठीक ठाक चला करती थी। आज पूरी बर्बाद कर दिया इन लोगों ने रेलवे। इन्होंने इकोनॉमी बर्बाद कर दी, इन्होंने रेलवे बर्बाद कर दी, सारे एयरपोर्ट बेच दिए, इन्होंने जहाज बेच दिए, आसमान बेच दिया, धरती बेच दी, पाताल बेच दिया, सब कुछ इन्होंने अपने लोगों को बेच दिया, कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ी। आज देश में हर आदमी दुखी है, युवा दुखी है, किसान दुखी है, मजदूर दुखी है, व्यापारी दुखी है, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट दुखी है, गृहिणी दुखी है। ऐसा कौन सा व्यक्ति है जो दुखी नहीं है? तो आज ये 26 पार्टियां हम सब लोग अपने लिए एकत्रित नहीं हुए। हम देश को एक तरफ बचाना है, जिस तरह से पूरे देश के अंदर नफरत फैलाई जा रही है उससे बचाना है, और दूसरी तरफ एक नए भारत का सपना लेके हम सब लोग इकट्ठे हुए हैं, जिसमें हर युवा को रोजगार मिलना चाहिए, हर गरीब बच्चे को अच्छी शिक्षा मिलनी चाहिए, हर बीमार आदमी को अच्छा इलाज मिलना चाहिए। ये सपना लेके हम सब लोग इकट्ठे हुए हैं, जहां पे ऐसा भारत होगा जहां सब सुख शांति होगी, प्यार मोहब्बत होगी और देश तरक्की करेगा, ना कि देश के संसाधन जो हैं कुछ लोगों के लिए, चंद लोगों के लिए लुटाए जाएंगे। आज बहुत अच्छा डिस्कशन हुआ और मैं कर्नाटक सरकार को, कांग्रेस पार्टी को, सीतारामैया जी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं आज की ये मीटिंग होस्ट करने के लिए। थैंक यू सो मच।
शुक्रिया केजरीवाल जी। मैं अभी महाराष्ट्र के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री उद्धव ठाकरे जी से निवेदन करूंगा कि वो आपको संबोधित करें।
मंच पे उपस्थित सभी मान्यवर और मेरे पत्रकार भाई और बहनों, दूसरी कामयाब मीटिंग हुई है हमारी और आपने देखा होगा तानाशाही के खिलाफ जनता इकट्ठा हो रही है। खड़गे साहब, आपने तो हमारे अलायंस का नाम बता दिया, लेकिन मैं तो इंडिया, भारत, जिसके लिए हम लड़ रहे हैं उसी को लेके हम आगे जाएंगे। इसीलिए तो हम इकट्ठा आए हैं। और आप देखते होंगे, पहले सवाल कई लोगों ने मुझे पूछा कि अलग अलग विचारधारा के लोग हैं, राजनीति में विचारधारा तो अलग होनी चाहिए, इसी को तो प्रजातंत्र मानते हैं। लेकिन इसके बावजूद हम एक आए हैं क्योंकि अब लड़ाई सिर्फ हमारी पार्टी की नहीं है। कुछ लोगों को ऐसे लग रहा है कि परिवार के लिए लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं। हाँ, देश हमारा परिवार है और इस परिवार के लिए हम लड़ रहे हैं। देश ही हमारा परिवार है, तो इस परिवार को हमें बचाना है। और लड़ाई हमारी एक पार्टी के खिलाफ या एक व्यक्ति के खिलाफ नहीं है, लड़ाई हमारी नीति के खिलाफ है, तानाशाही के खिलाफ है। और जैसे एक जमाने में आजादी की लड़ाई हुई थी, तो अब आजादी खतरे में आई है। तो इस आजादी के लिए हम सब इकट्ठा आए हैं और पक्का भरोसा है कि हम कामयाब रहेंगे, हो जाएंगे। और देश की जनता के मन में एक डर है कि अब क्या होगा, तो हम इतना उनको एक एहसास दिलाना चाहते हैं, कि विश्वास दिलाना चाहते हैं, डरो मत, हम है। जैसे एक वो पिक्चर आया था, मैं हूं ना, वैसे हम है ना। आप क्यों डरते हो? चिंता मत करो। एक व्यक्ति या एक पार्टी मतलब देश नहीं हो सकता, पूरे देश की जनता मतलब देश है। और देश की जनता अब इंडिया और भारत बनकर सामने आएगी। अपने देश को हम सुरक्षित रखेंगे। और 2 मीटिंग हुई है, आज की मीटिंग काफी कामयाब रही। मैं खड़गे साहब, आपको, शिव कुमार जी, सबको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं, मुख्यमंत्री जी को देना चाहता हूं। बहुत ही अच्छी मीटिंग हुई। और अगली मीटिंग हम महाराष्ट्र में करेंगे, मुंबई में करेंगे। तारीख तो हम तय करेंगे ही, लेकिन अगली मीटिंग हम मुंबई में करेंगे। सबको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
शुक्रिया उद्धव जी। आखिर में मैं राहुल गांधी जी से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो आपको संबोधित करें।
खारगे जी, शरद पवार जी, ममता जी, बाकी ऑपोजिशन के सीनियर नेता, प्रेस के हमारे मित्रों, आप सबका यहां बहुत बहुत स्वागत। यह हमारी दूसरी बैठक है और बहुत प्रोडक्टिव काम हुआ आज, बहुत स्मूथली काम हुआ। लड़ाई बीजेपी की विचारधारा, उनकी सोच के खिलाफ है। वो देश पर आक्रमण कर रहे हैं, बेरोजगारी फैल रही है, देश का पूरा धन चुने हुए लोगों के हाथ में जा रहा है। और इसलिए जब हम डिस्कशन कर रहे थे, हमने अपने आप से सवाल पूछा, लड़ाई किसके बीच में है? यह लड़ाई ऑपोजिशन और बीजेपी के बीच में लड़ाई नहीं है। देश की आवाज को दबाया और कुचला जा रहा है। यह देश की आवाज के लिए लड़ाई है और इसीलिए यह नाम चुना गया, इंडियन नेशनल डेवलपमेंटल इंक्लूसिव अलायंस, मतलब इंडिया। लड़ाई एनडीए और इंडिया के बीच में है, नरेंद्र मोदी जी और इंडिया के बीच में है, उनकी विचारधारा और इंडिया के बीच में है। आप जानते हो, जब भी कोई हिंदुस्तान के सामने खड़ा होता है, इंडिया के सामने खड़ा होता है, तो जीत किसकी होती है? कहने की जरूरत भी नहीं है। मैंने कहा दूसरी मीटिंग है, इसके बाद हमारी मीटिंग महाराष्ट्र में होगी और हमने निर्णय लिया है, सबने निर्णय लिया है कि अब हम एक एक्शन प्लान तैयार करेंगे जहां हम एक साथ मिलकर देश में हमारी विचारधारा के बारे में और जो हम देश के लिए करने जा रहे हैं उसके बारे में बोलेंगे। थोड़ा मैं अंग्रेजी में बोल देता हूं। It's an honor for me to come here in this meeting. I'd like to welcome all the senior leaders from the opposition. I'd like to welcome the press. The idea of India is being attacked today. It is being attacked by the ideology of the BJP. The wealth of India is being snatched from the millions and millions of Indians and being handed over to a few business people who are close to the Prime Minister and to the BJP. Unemployment is spreading, prices are rising, and this is what the fight is about. The fight is about two different ideas of India. And while we were having this discussion, this name frankly emerged from the discussion because we asked ourselves, what is the fight? Who is the fight between? And we realized the fight is not between two political formations. The fight is a fight to defend the idea of India. And that is why we came up with the name Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, which also happens to stand for India. And what we are doing here as a group is we are defending the Indian Constitution. We are defending the voice of the Indian people. We are defending the idea of our great country, the idea of India. You know what happens to anybody who opposes or tries to fight the idea of India. You can look in our history and you will see that nobody has been able to fight the idea of India. So I don't need to go into who is going to win this fight. This is a fight between the idea of India and the idea of the BJP. This is a fight between India and the BJP. It is a fight between India and Mr. Narendra Modi. Thank you very much.
शुक्रिया राहुल जी। अभी हमारे पास 3-4 सवालों के लिए ही वक्त है। संक्षिप्त में आप सवाल कीजिएगा, इसी बैठक पर सवाल उठाइएगा, दुनिया भर की बातें नहीं। और खरगे जी, क्योंकि आज की बैठक की अध्यक्षता उन्होंने की है, प्रयास करेंगे इन सवालों को जवाब देने का। हाँ संजीव, माइक देना है।
So you've named this alliance as India. We just wanted to know any discussions forward on who would lead this alliance and who would be the face of India.
देखिए, आपने जो सवाल पूछा कि कौन इसको लीड करेंगे और कौन इसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे, इसीलिए मैंने इसमें कहा था कि हम एक कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी 11 लोगों की बना रहे हैं। उस 11 लोगों के मीटिंग में तय होगा कि कौन से वो 11 लोग होंगे, फिर उसमें कौन कन्वेनर उसको बनाएंगे आगे के लिए, वो मुंबई में तय होगा। और हम वो तो छोटी बात है, उसको सॉल्व कर देंगे, वो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं।
Sir,
1 minute please.
Sir,
Yes, please.
Sir, both the meetings that have happened, sir, this is Jayaprakash from NewsX here, sir. So two meetings have happened, one in Patna and the other one here in Bengaluru. So on both these meetings, you have said the discussions have been fruitful. So can you deliberate on what these discussions were? For example, UCC, have you come on a common ground from where these differences have been sorted out?
देखिए, one thing, I have not received UCC bill. If you have got, you give me, then I will react. Still, they are calling objections up to 28th. So where is the question of discussing here? We have discussed about Manipur issue and other issues, unemployment, inflation and other issues, and how to come together and how to fight against these divisive forces and save democracy and save constitution. About that we elaborately discussed, and we are satisfied, and all are satisfied with that.
Sir,
Sir, are you chart a common minimum program for the next parliament elections?
Pardon?
Sir, are you chart a common minimum program for the all parties?
Common.
Common minimum program for the next parliament election.
Together fight, that's why 26 parties have come together, and we will fight together against the BJP, against Modi government. There is no...
Mr. Chairman.
खड़गे जी,
प्लीज, अरे सुनो, बैठो यार, ये तरीका नहीं है, प्लीज बैठिए, प्लीज बैठिए।
अरे एक पूछो तो मैं जवाब दूंगा।
No, you can't just speak like that.
आपको मौका
सर इधर हूँ सर, खड़गे साहब।
Mr. Kharge ji.
सर, सीट शेयरिंग को लेके प्रधानमंत्री ने भी ये लगातार आप लोग पर आज बहुत बड़ा हमला किया है कि आप लोग हर जगह हर स्टेट में लड़ रहे हैं आपस में मुद्दों को लेके। सीट शेयरिंग को लेके एक बड़ा मसला है कि आप लोग सीट शेयरिंग कैसे करेंगे। कई स्टेट्स में आप एक दूसरे से लड़ रहे हैं, तो क्या कोई कमेटी बनाएंगे आप? और प्रधानमंत्री इसको करप्ट अलायंस घोषित कर रहे हैं कि नेशनल करप्ट अलायंस।
देखिए, ये कोई बड़ी बात नहीं। मैंने कहा कि 11 लोगों की कमेटी जो बना रहे हैं उसमें ये सब डिस्कशन होगा, और सीट शेयरिंग तो एक हो जाएगा। जहाँ कैसा करना, ये हमारे अभी सभी नेता लोग मिलके और कमेटी मिलके वो तय करेगी, उसकी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं।
शिव कुमार हो रहे
मिस्टर खड़गे जी, सर
शिव कुमार हो रहे
खड़गे जी,
शिव कुमार हो रहे
खड़गे हो रहे
see,
पटेल
as you are grouping,
कर्नाटका
see, as you have come together, we can see the threat to the regional parties. We can see what has happened in Maharashtra to Shiv Sena and also to NCP. Do you see major threat to other regional parties, and the JDU is also is on the radar now? JDU in Bihar.
ಅದೇನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, see, NCP and Shiv Sena has come under threat from NDA government, that is BJP. How will you keep these regional parties together for all these days? Another 7-8 months are left and they are being targeted. And you told you are fighting, NDA has 30. Why have you left out Raj Bhavan, which is 31?
Okay, good. You have realized that. I am very thankful to you. But Pawar Saab, NCP leader, tall leader, popular, supported by people, he is here. And Uddhav Thackeray ji, who is also popular leader of our Shiv Sena. What more you want? When people are with them, MLA might have gone and come, may come. That is not important. But a creator is here. And all creators, both are creators and fighters. So you don't worry. We will be one, and there is no question of division.
शुक्रिया दोस्तों, अभी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस समाप्त हो चुका है।
So that's the presser which was held today, even as you see the visuals on your screen. It was started by Mallikarjun Kharge, and then several leaders spoke about the opposition meeting today, which was held in Bengaluru, a 2-day affair. Yesterday and today, my colleague Brijesh Pandey is with me in the studio, and let me not waste any more time because the visuals speak more than what I can actually explain and get into the most crucial question, as it were. Brijesh, your first comment on the name, because any name, culturally, socially, politically, it's very important, that what the name signifies. What do you make of this Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, the acronym of which is India? Do you think it's a master stroke, or you think, listen, everyone will get used to it one day, to koi badi baat nahi?
No, I think it's a very smart name. For the simple reason is that usually, when you are up against a party which is dominating both the social media as well as the electoral media, which is BJP, if you would have said or made some other acronym, chances of it being brutally attacked and trolled would have been there. But I think India, the name which is there for Indian National Democratic Developmental Inclusive Alliance, is a fit acronym, and it also, as Uddhav Thackeray was saying, as so was Mallikarjun Kharge, that it also imbibes the diversion which is there in all these 26 parties. I personally feel that the name is good, and for once it seems that the 26 parties who have come together to form India have got their act correct.
Right, and the operative words here, as it were, we've spoken about the name, quickly about the other aspects. The two things are inclusive. I think that's a very operative word. It goes against what they perceive is NDA, or rather BJP's philosophy of having India only for a particular community or the dominant community, although they keep saying Sabka Vikas, Sabka Prayas. Do you think the word inclusive also is taken from, is a residual of the Bharat Jodo Yatra?
Well, it is, and that is the reason why I said that that the name and the acronym, as well as the detailed full form of India, is a clear reflection on what Congress has been saying, is a clear reflection of what Rahul Gandhi has been saying, and it what our sources, the reporter who is there on the ground said that they wanted first to have the name democratic. And there was a discussion that democratic should be
Right.
replaced with developmental, and that is how the word developmental has been included. The D stands, earlier it was supposed to stand for democratic, now it is standing for developmental. So I think they have gotten their act correct, and it's interesting if they can keep 80% of the bonhomie which was on display. And the fact is that Mamata Banerjee was also very pacified, very sounding pro 26 party coalition. So it'll be very interesting to see how this pans forward, because Kharge has already announced how they intend to go forward, form a co-committee of 11 members who would decide on seat, agenda, how to go forward and all. Interestingly, right now as we're talking about 26, there's another meeting which will start at 5 o'clock, Sudha, of 38 political parties led of NDA led by BJP.
A day of meetings, I must say, getting their act together.
I think biggest political gathering, in
absolutely.
Delhi and in Bengaluru.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what, Brijesh, you spoke about Mamata Banerjee. I thought of the lot who spoke, Kharge साहब was very together, वो ठहराव जिसे हिंदी में कहते हैं, there was there, I found Rahul Gandhi reading a school essay, but ignore that. But then the point is that I found Mamata Banerjee very kind of aggressive and saying लड़ना है, उनसे लड़ना है, वो देश को तोड़ रहे हैं. So do you think that this aggressive spirit of hers, does it bode well, Brijesh Pandey? Because
well, it does, because if you look at the fact that Mamata has been aggressive in her politics, you have never find her right or wrong, win or loss. You always find her very spirited when it comes to taking on her opposition. And you can't forget the fact that in 2021 she took on the formidable might of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Amit Shah duo, and she not only took them on, but she also defended her turf so brilliantly that it was one of the most emphatic political victory in the last 4-5 years. So her aggression, I can sense, because I was there, covered the election for almost month and a half. Aggression stems from there, and the way she went about also shows the kind of the spirit, the fighting spirit which Mamata Banerjee has. Because remember, she was up against the entire might. The whole world has descended down in the state of West Bengal, and how she come up trumps against the BJP.
You know what? We're going to speak about this in the show, which we focus on the South Indian. But the thing is that, do you think that Mallikarjun Kharge, sure, but the glue, as it were, the protective umbrella, was that of Sonia Gandhi?
Well, I agree. I completely agree, because I personally feel that whenever you look at the phases of Congress in power and off power, it was Sonia Gandhi who managed the party very well. She had the acumen, the natural, people will spam me for calling it, but the female instinct of how to keep the clan together, it was there on full display. And she never let anybody get out of the line, or she never allowed a situation to go awry. Rahul Gandhi, on the other hand, was someone who was completely not interested in to be a member of parliament, completely not interested to be the president of the party, and it was the entire thing was being being bestowed on him. Right now, with Rahul Gandhi out of the picture, Mallikarjun Kharge, because he is a very seasoned politician as the face of the Congress party, and Sonia Gandhi, again, being seen in the picture together, I think this is perhaps the best photo op, if I may say so, for the Congress party in the last 5 years.
Absolutely. And I just want to ask you, and considering you have covered elections, several elections, and for different parties, and you've seen the electoral scene unfold in this country, contemporary India as it were, modern India rather. I want to ask you something. Everyone is either saying, those who support the Congress saying rara, those who belittle it saying another wasteful expense and all that. But put on your political reporter hat, political editor hat. Do you think that this is a good start for optics, or it's genuinely, Brijesh Pandey, a good start, because that's what democracies are all about?
Well, so I would say that I would wait for a while before I actually start judging how good or bad this coalition is going to be. Looks like it's a good start because, what happened in Patna didn't give that kind of confidence, but, the photo of which we are seeing today and the kind of language which was there, and, most of the leaders, regional satraps, the way they spoke about the gathering and all, it looks like a good start. But then, we can never forget, that when it comes to the like of Arvind Kejriwal or Mamta Banerjee, where they are very clear that, if you don't toe our line, then count us out of the of your alliance. And I think, this pulls or pressures, blackmail, pressure, and all of this will continue till a formal announcement is made. And also remember that no party is immune from this. If you take the example of the NDA, it is also facing a fight between Chacha and Bhatija in the form of LJP, where now after being in completely cold-shouldered by the top BJP leadership, now Chirag Paswan is again, the apple of their eyes, and it has had a sulking Paras Paswan, who is his Chacha. And the bone of contention is the Hajipur seat. So all these political parties, all these coalitions and all, there are a lot of things going on for them. But I think we'll have to wait and watch before we actually start taking this 26 party coalition a lot more seriously. I think we'll have to wait and watch for what transpires at the Mumbai convention.
Right. Last question, Brijesh, coming to you. Considering that the show that I do at 5 o'clock all weekdays is about the south of India. What do you think about the Telugu speaking states sitting out of both, whether it is the meeting in Bengaluru or the meeting in New Delhi? Well, none have come except Pawan Kalyan. That's it.
What I think is that, this is also a reflection of the growing influence of Congress party. If I was a Congress person, I would be happy. For the simple reason is that, that for years, KCR's biggest enemy was Prime Minister Narendra Modi. 6-7 times, he visited Telangana. He was never there to receive him. His tone was very aggressive. The language acerbic. But all of a sudden, post Karnataka election, there has been a spring in the step of the Congress. The kind of desertion, the mass desertion which the Congress party was saying, it was completely arrested, and now people are joining back Congress. So Congress, all of a sudden, being in doldrums, it has emerged as a serious threat to the KCR. And that serious threat, that regional reality is reflecting here in Bengaluru. What about Jagan Mohan? He's also not here, and that he's flirted with BJP for the longest time. Of course, he will not come for the Congress. Why would he? He will not. But BJP, he just met Modi and said, give a special status. So I want you to decode this quickly. That is it electoral distance? Is it ideological distance? Or is it just a very smart move? You do your own thing, we'll do our own. It's a very smart thing. Look at BJD. Naveen Patnaik. It doesn't matter who is in power. If your Congress is in power, we are friends with Congress. If it is BJP in power, as long as you are not needling us, as long as you are not troubling us, as long as ED and CBI is not raiding us, they're perfectly fine with it. The same is the case with Andhra Pradesh. He doesn't need BJP. He doesn't need Congress. And that is the reason he's making an equidistance from both the parties. Right. So you think that this whole committee which will be formed, like Mr. Kharge said, which will have 11 members, do you want to punt on who will be in it, or you don't do these things? I think you don't. In the newsroom, you always say, no guesswork. We know enough politics. I'm not making guesswork, but from what the gathering and all, what we can say for sure is that yes, Congress will have a decent presence, but I think all the big parties, their top leaders will be part of that 11-member committee. It will be interesting to see who all are there from the Congress party. Will it going to be only Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi, or somebody else will make the cut? That will be very interesting to see out. But I think majority of the big regional powers, they are going to be in part of that committee. All right, and now let's just focus on the show. Every weekday we bring you a show which focuses on the south of India, where the focus is on the South Indian, of course, the North Indians as well, on India. Today, that's the operative word. So those are the visuals that are coming to you. Two windows, two different, Indias, if I may say, seen through the prism of political parties. One, the opposition unity meeting, which just got over in Bengaluru, which started yesterday. And on the other window, you see Edappadi Palaniswamy, ex-Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Chief of the AIADMK, along with Shinde, that you see the NDA meeting where 38 parties are supposed to take part. This is all in preparation of the impending
2024 elections, the Lok Sabha, 1 in 10, that is the one where you can see 17 to 18 July Bengaluru, where you see Rahul Gandhi in a white t-shirt, along with Mallikarjun Kharge. Their aim is to see that there is a secular nation. They have a new name now. The name is, of course, Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, the acronym of which is India. And on the other window where you see Edappadi Palaniswamy, theirs is to strengthen the NDA, as it were, also in preparation of the 2024 elections. Now, the fact is, whether the average man is reeling under floods or the rising prices of food and perhaps oblivious towards the 2024 elections, political parties, I'm telling you, are leaving no stone unturned in hitting the ground running. Look at those visuals. They are all the opposition parties, 26 parties. Now, starting yesterday, that 26 parties under the guiding light of Sonia Gandhi, which includes, of course, there was AAP, there was also Nitish Kumar, there was Lalu Prasad Yadav, there was Samajwadi Party, Mamata Banerjee, DMK, NCP, that is Sharad Pawar. They all came together to chalk out a strategy for vanquishing only one man. His name is Narendra Modi. On the other hand, that you see right now, JP Nadda, the ruling NDA or the National Democratic Alliance, is all set to meet with 38 parties in Delhi to emerge stronger to face 2024. So, everyone in election mode, as it were. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, of course, attacked the opposition meeting, calling it an alliance of corruption and dynastic politics. What is new, of course, and straight from the oven is the new name that the opposition alliance have chosen for themselves. And let me tell you that, in the days of social media and the way you are perceived, a name carries a lot of importance. Now, you may recall that senior CPI leader D. Raja had indicated that the new conglomeration shall be called Patriotic Democratic Alliance. That was, when they had met in Patna, the acronym of which was PDA, and there was a lot of laughter. But then now it's almost, it is final that the group will now eschew words like front and go for Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, which stands for India. Now, that's the only prologue to the story, ladies and gentlemen. But what the book will be will depend on the woman and man who decodes it at the time of elections. Lakshman, who's the senior associate editor of The Hindu, is joining us. A. Sai Shekhar, senior journalist, is also joining us. Vijay Grover, senior journalist, political analyst, is also joining us. And Amitabh Tiwari, who's a political analyst, is also joining us on the broadcast. Great to see all of you. It's a day which is very, very important, I think, in the modern political history, as it were, of India. I have some talking points, and I think that's the only way to focus on this. Otherwise, this can really get something, which will require 2 to 3 hours for all of us to actually. There you are. I can see all of you. Good to see you. The first talking point, if we can put it up on the screen, is will the name, which is the Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, the acronym of which is, of course, ladies and gents, India, will it be a turning point for the opposition unity group? Because, like I said, in today's day, when political parties fight it out on social media platforms, a name carries a lot of weight. I would like all of you to take that question. Narayan, if you could, do you think it's a turning point for the opposition unity group, as it were, a new name and almost like a new avatar, as it were?
Great question, Sudha. I think it's not so much the name, perhaps, that is the rallying point for these disparate groups, but the real, very existential threat that each of them faces in the light of the circumstances that we've seen in recent years over the two Modi government terms, which is basically that federalism has changed in shape. The center has assumed a much greater level of concentration of political power. And as we've seen, and you've mentioned as well earlier, the weaponization of certain central agencies against political opponents at the state level. And if regional parties are pulling apart, and in the past of India's political history were not able to come together to form a viable coalition at the national level. They may do so now almost from the negative perspective of fear, because they have understood now that institutionally this BJP government, the NDA alliance that underpins it, is capable of seriously pulling the rug out from under their feet, so to speak, politically speaking. And that could well turn out to be the unifying factor rather than the name. The name, of course, is catchy, and it's designed to be a sort of a call to say come together under the same umbrella, and they might well try that. The real question will be, will this desire to come together triumph over their otherwise innately sort of different diversified perspectives on how to rule and the kind of ethos with which they rule their parties, their families, all of those things that are involved.
Right. I mean, very well said that, you said that not so much the name as it were, but the concept, and you really kind of expanded the entire conversation, made it more expansive. Sai Shekhar, do you think it will be a turning point? Because, look at it, it's a very smart move. Brand gurus, I'm sure tomorrow are going to write op-eds on it. I can already see 2-3 names, swinging to my head saying, what does this mean? The name, the acronym, the Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. Look at the operative word, Sai, inclusive, the acronym of India, so that no one accuses them of this constant thing that we hear, are you nationalistic enough? Deshdrohi, Deshpremi, etc. So do you think the name is a turning point, Sai Shekhar?
To me, it looks like a joke, and also I am gripped by a sense of deja vu, because it's not the first time that the Congress is stitching coalitions, and Congress coalition, if Congress is the big brother, it succeeds. That has been proven in 2004 and 9. And if the Congress is not the big brother, if Congress is denied that role by more serious contenders, maybe they would take a back seat for now. But there are quite a few chief ministers seen on the dais, like Arvind Kejriwal, who has 2 states under his party, he is a truly national party apart from the Congress there. And then Sharad Pawar, who actually aspired to become the Prime Minister during Narasimha Rao time. Of course, he ended up being the international ICC chairman, and he could not keep his own flock together in Maharashtra. And then Hemant Soren, and he's also a chief minister, and Balwant Singh Mahan, Siddaramaiah. So many chief ministers are there, but then Congress being in a position to stitch an opposition coalition and then arriving at a common minimum program, all these things will be Congress programs, and others will have to toe the line. Otherwise, I don't think it will be a successful experiment, number one. Number two, I don't think there is anybody who can be projected from within this coalition as a rival to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Not that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is delivering very well, not that BJP is doing extremely well, not that the concerns raised by these members in these opposition parties are not valid. It's not like that. But at the same time, I see no one in this coalition to be actually, rivaling Narendra Modi. Are they saying that Rahul Gandhi will be the Prime Minister candidate?
No, Sai Shekhar, I think we are running away too soon, and I think that we can never say never ever. You know Indian politics better than most people. No, Narendra Modi could be a monolithic juggernaut, but so was Indira Gandhi at one time. A time comes, but which comes rarely in the history of a nation and all that. You remember that speech? Of course, in a different context I'm quoting it. And it's too soon. Today the baby has been named. Let the baby start crawling, sitting, walking, speaking, teething. As a woman I can say it's a very long journey. Let me tell you, it's not easy.
So not 2024, you mean?
Sorry?
Not 2024.
You never know. Sai Shekhar, also as a mother, you blink your eye and they are grown up and they are challenging you. So I know this. Amitabh Tiwari, good to see you. Amitabh Tiwari, you know what? When the name was announced and I was sitting in the newsroom, do not know, I'm sharing this with you, and that's what good debates are all about, being honest. I was reminded of DK Baru. Remember, Indra is India and India is Indra? You know, that famous what DK Barua said about this thing, because everyone in the newsroom said, it's India, it's India, it's India, it's India versus NDA. That's what we are calling it. What do you think, Amitabh, of the name? Do you think it's a masterstroke? Because I think everyone debated inclusive, you know, is developmental as in vikas. Unka jo vikas hai, hamara developmental hai, inclusive hai hum, because it's also mohabbat ki dukaan from the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So do you think as a brand, as it were, they've done a good job, Amitabh Tiwari?
I think they've done a good job, because if you see, it is very difficult to laugh off the word which they are using for the alliance, correct? Number two, it shows a progression from UPA to India. Because in UPA, if you remember, the left parties were not officially part of UPA. So the number of parties which represent this alliance are spread out across the country. And there are also parties which were never part of UPA or have been doing anti-Congress politics for a long, long time in states and even at the national level. For BJP, it is difficult to turn it around, because you could say India versus NDA, they could come up with India versus Bharat or something else, but you could not accuse the alliance of this having this liberal or using an English sort of a word, because the Prime Minister also uses India as a word very often, correct? We'll make India will become the top 3 or something, etc. Correct. So from all these perspectives, I think, and inclusiveness, as you said, because they're trying to pitch that the Bharatiya Janata Party, while it is dividing the country on religious and communal lines, the NDA stands for inclusiveness. So it is a good word. I mean, when I looked at the word also in one of the tweets, I also was surprised, but also found it a good acronym to start with. Because as you said, the baby is born today, and 10 months is a long, long time in politics. We've all seen, I mean, 2 weeks is enough to turn the tide. So it's all these parties coming together on a platform, despite having all these differences, despite a lot of skepticism being shown, coming up and putting out a name, as well as coming up with 10, 11 points which were discussed during the alliance, is a good move for a good battle in 2020.
Right. So because now it's very clear, because you see a name is very, very important, you know, because like I said, today, in today's day and age, when it becomes almost a brand, I mean, it's like a toothpaste brand. I'm sorry if I'm sounding facetious, but that's how it is. You know, how do you fight it out when you go to the people? Because social media is very, very active. The youth population is very, very strong, and you know, it garners a lot of reactions. So therefore, it's a good move, according to 2 people. Sai Shekhar thinks it's a joke, and he says that it's not going to last, and that's what I'm going to now come to. We are talking about India versus NDA, India being the acronym of the 26 parties, you know, which came together in Bengaluru, and the acronym for Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, which is India. Let me now. Let me now go to the guest once again. You know, the second talking point, if it can come up, this is that I'm quoting this, said we are not interested in power or post of PM. This was a statement which was made by Mallikarjun Kharge before they actually, you know, came out and addressed the press. So I want you to tell me, Narayan Lakshman, because apparently, and this is all speculative, but we have enough sources, it was said that, you know, a lot of parties had a problem with Rahul Gandhi, in the sense, if Rahul Gandhi will be projected as someone who leads it. So I'm asking you that, you know, is that a very smart move, as it were, you know, by saying we are not interested in power or the post of Prime Minister?
Yes, so I do think it's a good starting point, because it's almost as if to say, let's keep this space a little expansive. Let other regional parties also chime in. Because like I said, everyone has a different paradigm of how they think good governance should be delivered to the people. And before that, indeed, how they should campaign and win the hearts and minds of the people. So to say, let's not jump the gun. I really liked your analogy of letting the child grow and develop. It's to say, let's things evolve organically. A leader will be have to be picked at some point and quite soon. But let us have some conversations. Let everyone's views get aired. Let everyone have a level of comfort. As you could see in some of the images today, they were sitting around at a round table and conversations have begun. But these are going to be very complex conversations. And I think therein will lie the challenge that they face, because obviously the NDA is going to really come after them with everything they've got. And they're going to talk about, the lack of unity, lack of cohesion, different visions, and inability of or incapacity allegedly of the India alliance to pull together. So the newborn India alliance is going to have an answer ready for that. They're going to have to speak the language of good governance. If they hammer on about communalism and other, minority versus Hindutva, they risk alienating people. While it may be true, they must be very careful about the kind of language they pick. And I think all of these early conversations are going to be about that. And as you indicated earlier too, the choice of PM candidate will come up in the course of that conversation.
All right. And before I go to the other guest, of course, we have some bites which we need to play out. And these are bites that you will hear about the meeting which took place and, of course, the presser after that. Listen in.
A new name is given, that is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, that is INDIL, and this is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. So everybody agreed for this, and unanimously this name is given, and everybody is happy with this name. A new name is given, that is Indian National.
Those are the visuals that you see. That is the other meeting which is taking place in New Delhi at this time. 38 parties who have participated in the NDA meeting. Those are the deliberations which are as of now going on. Just to bring you up to speed, two major meetings, one which was concluded, which you can see on the right side of your screens, which is showing Mamata Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi, and of course Hemant Soren and Mamata Banerjee. And on the other side, this is of course the Bengaluru meeting which was concluded, and you can see Chief Minister of Karnataka Siddaramaiah, there is D. Raja, senior leader, and of course Sitaram Yechury. On the other side, Prime Minister Narendra Modi being received by JP Nadda. There you see JP Nadda, and also being welcomed with flowers for the meeting. There you see Shinde, also the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and Yedappadi Palaniswamy, ex-Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and head of the AIADMK. He's being welcomed for the meeting which is going to take place in New Delhi. I think it must have started, or rather they're just warming up. There you see Home Minister Amit Shah also trooping in. Let me now get back to the guest. The question that I asked and the talking point, as it were, we are not interested in power or post of Prime Minister. Sai Shekhar, do you think that statement from Mallikarjun Kharge in a way has kind of put all the other parties, at rest, as in there is a bit of a comfort?
You see, in 2013, BJP has announced the name of Narendra Modi as their prime ministerial candidate. The campaign run on Narendra Modi being the prime minister. And for example, you take the southern states, MK Stalin. Stalin is the chief ministerial candidate. And more or less it was, though the Congress has dragged the drama, more or less it was Siddaramaiah who was the face of Congress in Karnataka election. So is Pinarayi Vijayan, so is Jagan Mohan Reddy, so is KCR. So without the name being announced, we'll all elect a commonly agreeable leader is a tamasha. It makes no sense, number one. And Congress has already developed cold feet. And to get these parties together to participate in this meeting, Congress had to bend over backwards. And Aam Aadmi Party actually literally held the Congress to a ransom with regard to the Delhi bill, which is to come up in Rajya Sabha. And Narendra Modi's advantage is that he has proxies who are powerful chief ministers who have got large number of MLAs outside the National Democratic Alliance. So I am not very sure this Mallikarjun Kharge's statement and Kharge being at the center stage on this dais is going to make any good optics in that sense.
Right, and you know, optics, of course, it is. If you look at, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the flowers which are being presented to Sonia Gandhi, a bit of a goof up there, which many people noticed, as it were. Siddaramaiah ji giving the flowers, first offering it to Mallikarjun Kharge, and then Mallikarjun Kharge directing him to first give it to Sonia Gandhi, which is of course protocol, and also a very, very clear message there that it is she, that is Sonia Gandhi, who's acting as a glue to bring all the disparate parties, as it were, to a common ground. Those are the visuals that you see. This was before the meeting started in Bengaluru, which is of course now concluded. I want to go to our third guest, of course, Amitabh Tiwari. You know, I want to ask you that what do you make of, you know, no Telugu speaking party has come for either. If you look at the two screens that the viewers are now able to see, one which is the NDA meeting and the other is of course the Congress, the opposition meeting which is gotten concluded. The Jagan is absent from it, and so is you know, so is KCR Garu. So you know, what kind of a messaging, except for Pawan Kalyan, nobody has come for this meeting, and of course HDK is also missing from both.
See, essentially what happens is that an alliance between a number one party and a number two party in a state rarely happens. So in Andhra Pradesh, the earlier united Andhra Pradesh, let's say for Telangana, in Telangana, the main contest is between TRS and Congress. Still, correct. Congress is the number two party in the assembly. So TRS cannot be part of any alliance with the Congress. However, Aam Aadmi Party is there, CPM is there. So, but TRS is born out of sorts of an anti-Congress politics. So is YSR Jagan. YSR Jagan formed this party because he was denied the chief ministership by the Congress leadership. So they cannot both be part of UPA. YSR CP and both TRS, if you see, TRS during 2014 to 19 had backed BJP in important bills in the Rajya Sabha to get it through. In 2014-19, BJP had a lower number of members in the Rajya Sabha. So it was doing actually a proper politics, propping up BJP to split the anti-opposition vote. TDP somehow has not been part of the alliance because BJP feels that when N. Chandrababu retires, it can occupy the opposition space in Andhra Pradesh because his son may not be able to take the party forward, as is the case with many regional parties who are struggling with the succession plans. And YSRCP anyways is anti-Congress and has been supporting BJP on most important bills in the parliament. So that's why I think these two parties are not there. And YSRCP also has a lot of base among the minorities and the Christian community, and that's why probably it does not want to have a very open relationship with the BJP. Right, on the question of, I think it's a very important question. I'll just take 1 minute on this leadership thing which you mentioned.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a tricky issue. So tricky issues cannot be solved in the second meeting. They will be solved as and when the situation demands. So there are 2 points here. One is 37% of people voted in the 2019 elections on the face of the Prime Minister. So if you do not have a leader, you exclude this large segment of voters. Second is, if you see, wherever Congress has defeated BJP while being in opposition, in states like Rajasthan, MP, Chhattisgarh, Himachal, Karnataka, they did not declare a chief ministerial face. So what happens is that the other strategy is that do not declare a face and make it a localized election. However, that works in a state. Can it work at a national level? That is doubtful. So these are two different strategies. Go with a face. Do not exclude that 37% voting segment. But then you have to have a face who can match up to Modi's charisma, or go with a localized sort of an election wherein you make it a 543 seat contest, a 543 seat contest, MP versus MPs. So that's a tricky question to answer at this point of time.
Right. Sai Shekhar, for most parties, what has really come, I mean, it was a very subtle message, of course, from Mallikarjun Kharge, and even Mamata Banerjee spoke about it. Do you think that the overreach of the central agencies is also one of the compelling reasons for them to come together in this fashion? Because there is this paranoia, as it were.
This is a cut copy paste model by the BJP. It's not invented by the BJP. NDA was in power between 99 and 2004 also, but they were not inciting the central agencies against any of those who are opposing the Vajpayee dispensation. It is a cut copy paste model of the Congress. It is Congress which is just look at the I may be too parochial when I take the references of southern states. Look at the case of Jagan Mohan Reddy. Just because he refused to, he defied the Congress leadership, what kind of cases were foisted against him.
Right.
And they are still under trial, and no case comes up for any conclusion. And this is the Congress model. Several of the Congress chief ministers, for example, if Sonia Gandhi did not like that Ashok Chavan, she took that Adarsh scam, and to fix DMK people, this 2G scam has been brought up. 1,76,000 crores. What does it mean? I don't even understand. Vinod Rai should explain. So these kind of politics have been introduced in India by the Congress. And during the Congress regime only, CBI is named as
But today, Sai Shekhar, yeah, sure, I don't hold a brief for the Congress, but the point is that it is today the BJP. I mean, I'm not getting into the merits of it, whether it is Ponmudi, whether it is Senthil Balaji, whether it is anyone else. There is this fear, even DK Shivakumar before the elections, they are all fearing that the central agency, I am asking you that is this neurosis which is there also a reason for all these parties to come together, that if you can't
this could be one reason, Sudha. This could be one reason, one binding point for all of them to come together and stay glued. But then that is not alone. Each one is there are some 3-time chief ministers in that conglomerate. Mamata Banerjee, she wants to be the prime minister, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. And in the initial discussion, I did not get the voice. I am trying to tell you, NDA and India are sounding the same. And these people want to make Narendra Modi and others say we will oppose India. Is that what they want?
Right. Okay.
I am surprised. Yeah. I am really surprised by this kind of a coalition, and Mallikarjun Kharge's statement that we are not anchoring for the Prime Minister's post is chickening out from the race already even before it began.
Right. Narayan Lakshman, what Sai Shekhar said, I'm taking it off from there. Of course, Mallikarjun Kharge has said that we are not after PM's post. We are not, because if you may recall, even in Patna, Rahul Gandhi had said very clearly that, the Congress party is ready to make as many sacrifices as possible. That's what he had said. But do you think that too many prime ministerial aspirants, as it were, like Sai Shekhar was saying, there is Mamata Banerjee, of course, right on top there. Do you think it's going to spoil the longevity or put spanner in the works, as it were, Narayan Lakshman? Like I said, the baby is today named. It's a naming ceremony. Too early. But do you see that coming?
Yes, I do, Sudha, because I do think that the fundamental problem with the DNA of such a coalition is that every leader, regional state party leader, has prime ministerial ambitions. Obviously, some are more likely to, have a stronger case versus others, like you said, Mamata Banerjee being a CM several times, 3 times. So, nevertheless, it is sowing the seed of future conflict, and in that sense. Having said what I said earlier, I do think the Congress is going to end up taking a lead role in speaking as the voice of this coalition. That is almost like I said, the organic growth of this alliance. That is the only way it will happen. So, for example, could you see someone like I don't know, an MK Stalin as in the prime ministerial seat? The answer is no, because while the formula for good governance that they bring is uniquely. It's a lens that's tinted with their own experience in their own state. It's a very India is if it's nothing, if it's anything, it's unique for how much variation there is across states. So does that work from a national perspective? Probably not. I think the bigger question is, I think the other speaker was saying about, the 37% who voted for Prime Minister Modi. This is also going to be about, it's a referendum on the last 10 years of rule as well. So it is a referendum on presidential style of politics. It is a referendum on how much you can move institutions to do your bidding, even when it's strictly not within the frame of the constitution or the norms that they are supposed to operate in. So are the people really that sick of, all of these raids and, certain maybe allegations that there are certain business people who get, advantages? Are they so sick of it, or are they very happy that India has now bounced back economically? Foreign Minister Jaishankar is always delivering sharp repartees on the global stage, putting other foreign leaders in their place. Are they very happy and proud that India's spine and masculine, sort of macho power has been restored? So these are very tricky collective psychic questions. And my own feeling is that, I'm going to stick my neck out here, is that India still has a very major appetite for that kind of, global macho policy making. So I think it's going to be tricky because Prime Minister Modi, as we all know, is a very adroit manager of that reputation and that image, and he's going to keep doing what he does best.
And, before I go to the other guests, some of the voices like Mamata Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi after the presser in Bengaluru. Listen in.
ये लड़ाई ऑपोजिशन और बीजेपी के बीच में लड़ाई नहीं है. देश की आवाज को दबाया और कुचला जा रहा है. ये देश की आवाज के लिए लड़ाई है और इसीलिए ये नाम चुना गया. इंडियन नेशनल डेवलपमेंटल इंक्लूसिव अलायंस, मतलब इंडिया. लड़ाई एनडीए और इंडिया के बीच में है, नरेंद्र मोदी जी और इंडिया के बीच में है, उनकी विचारधारा और इंडिया के बीच में है.
इंडिया को बचाना है, देश को बचाना है. भाजपा तो देश बेचने का सौदागिरी कर रहा है, देश बेचने का सौदागिरी कर रहा है, लोकतंत्र को खरीदने का सौदागिरी कर रहा है. इसी के लिए आज कोई इंडिपेंडेंट एजेंसी को भी काम नहीं करने देता है. कोई आदमी कोई अपोजिशन को सपोर्ट करते हैं, अपोजिशन स्टेट को, तो नेक्स्ट डे ईडी और सीबीआई और कोई चला जाता है और खाली धमक देता है हम 355 करेगा, हम 356 करेगा. हम लोगों ने आज 420 कर दिया, 420 धारा अप्लाई कर दिया पॉलिटिकली, जिसमें इंडिया जीतेगा, भाजपा हारेगा. भारत जीतेगा, भाजपा हारेगा. इंडिया जीतेगा और हमारा देश जीतेगा.
दूसरी कामयाब मीटिंग हुई है हमारी, और आपने देखा होगा तानाशाही के खिलाफ जनता इकट्ठा हो रही है. खरगे साहब, आपने तो हमारे अलायंस का नाम बता दिया, लेकिन मैं तो इंडिया, भारत, जिसके लिए हम लड़ रहे हैं, उसी को लेके हम आगे जाएंगे। इसीलिए तो हम इकट्ठा आए हैं। और आप देखते होंगे, पहले सवाल कई लोगों ने मुझे पूछा कि अलग अलग विचारधारा के लोग हैं, राजनीति में विचारधारा तो अलग होनी चाहिए, इसी को तो प्रजातंत्र मानते हैं। लेकिन इसके बावजूद हम एक आए हैं, क्योंकि अब लड़ाई सिर्फ हमारी पार्टी की नहीं है। कुछ लोगों को ऐसे लग रहा है कि परिवार के लिए लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं। हाँ, देश हमारा परिवार है और इस परिवार के लिए हम लड़ रहे हैं। देश ही हमारा परिवार है, तो इस परिवार को हमें बचाना है।
आज ये 26 पार्टियां, हम सब लोग अपने लिए एकत्रित नहीं हुए। हम देश को एक तरफ बचाना है, जिस तरह से पूरे देश के अंदर नफरत फैलाई जा रही है उससे बचाना है, और दूसरी तरफ एक नए भारत का सपना लेके हम सब लोग इकट्ठे हुए हैं, जिसमें हर युवा को रोजगार मिलना चाहिए, हर गरीब बच्चे को अच्छी शिक्षा मिलनी चाहिए, हर बीमार आदमी को अच्छा इलाज मिलना चाहिए। ये सपना लेके हम सब लोग इकट्ठे हुए हैं, जहां पे ऐसा भारत होगा जहां सब सुख शांति होगी, प्यार मोहब्बत होगी और देश तरक्की करेगा, ना कि देश के संसाधन जो हैं कुछ लोगों के लिए, चंद लोगों के लिए लुटाए जाएंगे।
All right, I mean, those were some of the voices that you heard on your screens right now. The NDA meeting, which is actually taking place in New Delhi right now. There you saw Chirag Paswan dive for the feet of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, seeking his blessings. There is Yedappadi, and I want to ask Narayan Lakshman one question. Narayan Lakshman, you see Yedappadi Palaniswamy there in the crowd. Now, I want to ask you, in the context of Tamil Nadu, and of course everyone is here only to fight elections, that he is opposed to Annamalai. There is exchange of very bitter words between the two, but here you see him, you know, along with Narendra Modi, kind of, you know, smiling and laughing. What does one make of it? Is it that Narendra Modi is acceptable to Edappadi Palaniswamy in AIADMK, but the alliance partner there of Annamalai is not?
Yes, a great question as always. This is a purely opportunistic play, and the AIADMK has never been about that. And of course, they have also never had the sort of visceral, dislike or political, aversion to allying with the BJP as much as the DMK has. Even the DMK has allied with them. But, under Jayalalitha and so forth, there was far greater sort of sense of being able to come together. So in that sense, we shouldn't be surprised. You're very right to point out the extreme friction between Edappadi Palaniswamy and Annamalai, the state BJP unit chief in Tamil Nadu. And for example, when Annamalai launched the DMK Files campaign to bring out alleged corruption against the DMK, I think in response to a question, he said, when someone asked, what about other parties that are corrupt? He said no one will be spared, and that they were going to go after everyone. And, we all know what the state of corruption is in Tamil Nadu, probably across the country, but certainly in Tamil Nadu with both the major Dravidian parties, it need not be spelled out. But, given that repartee and exchange that happened, and Annamalai projecting that classic BJP position of you will clean corruption up, it was a tension, and Edappadi has clearly stepped across that to build this national level alliance.
Right. Amitabh, last question. I've completely run out of time. On one part of the screen, you see the NDA meeting, where of course there are differences, but they are not as manifested as it is on the other side of the screen. That is the Bengaluru meeting, or the meeting of India, the acronym India, that is the Opposition Unity Forum or Conglomerate. Tell me quickly that don't you think that the greatest fear is that how do ideologically disparate parties, for instance, like the left and the AAP and the Congress, coexist in this kind of a conglomeration? Do you think that this piece is just for optics, and very soon you will start the whole tutu meme, which political parties are so famous for? I don't believe in that political parties are here to do all good and be the good boys that they project themselves to be.
See, politics is the art of managing contradictions. So contradictions exist in alliances, in parties, in leadership, even in the social coalitions which the parties have as their vote bases. So whoever manages these contradictions better could emerge as the winner. However, NDA is a more settled alliance in the sense that there is clear leadership in NDA. BJP is the largest party, and will be taking the calls. However, you have to also notice that LJP, the Lok Janshakti Party, in its united form, is the third largest NDA party in terms of Lok Sabha seats. That party is the fifth or the sixth party in Bihar. So in terms of the composition of alliance of NDA, BJP is the clear leader, as well as BJP is the major chunk of that alliance. Correct. Whereas in UPA, there is no clear leader, but it has representation from across India, and it has bigger parties in its alliance compared to NDA.
Right.
Now, whether bickerings will start or not, we will have to see as we progress. However, as one of the panelists mentioned initially, the parties have come up because they fear the survival. Regional parties feel that a strike like Shiv Sena or a NCP is somewhere around the corner, and if we have to save our parties, we have to align with one of the larger or the bigger national parties at an India level, and that is the Congress perhaps, and they should come together to take on the NDA. Otherwise, post 2024, they could be in the seat just like a Uddhav Thackeray or a Sharad Pawar. So survival is the key thing, but it's a very big instinct. It's a very big reason, and that could negate some of the issues which are there in the India alliance.
Absolutely. When you have to survive, you have to adjust, and that seems to be the mantra. But what a historical day, of course, today, two big meetings, and both of them, one going on, the other concluded, and many thanks to all of you. Narayan Lakshman, Sai Shekhar, thank you. Thank you, Amitabh, for joining us on this wonderful debate. And every weekday, as always, at 5 o'clock, we shall bring you stories which focus around the south of India. Thanks for watching. Vanakkam.
इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि सभी लोग कर रहे हैं.
Coaching is now starting from grade 3, 4, 5, 6.
कोटा जाने वाली बीच राह में आधे टेस्ट देके हैं सिलेक्शन की चाह में. ऑल इंडिया का बच्चा कोटा जाता है.